Last October, in the quiet Mississippi town of Pascagoula, two local men confronted authorities with a rather bizarre story. Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker told of a strange craft landing near their fishing site and of being taken aboard by three unearthly creatures.
In our number 10 spot today, we have Claude, Maurice, Marcel, Vorilhon, or Rael. Rael is a French journalist who is also the founder of what is called the Raelian movement, which is a UFO cult. Apparently, Rael had some sort of extraterrestrial encounter in December of 1973, and this is what led him to found this movement. Rael says that during his alien encounter, the alien told him that he was the chosen one, and he needed to spread the message to the people on Earth. This UFO cult believes that humans were created by an alien species, and once we find a way to find peace on Earth, those aliens will come down and tell us our true origins and bring us to utopia. In our number 9 spot today, we have Marcel Applewhite. Marcel and his former partner, Bonnie Nettles, were responsible for founding the cult called Heaven's Gate. If you haven't heard of it before, these two believed themselves to be something called walk-ins, which they said are higher beings who took control over the bodies of two middle-aged human bodies so as to spread their word and teach humanity. Crazy thing is, there are people who believed it, unfortunately, because they were manipulated and taken advantage of. They gave up their lives and all worldly possessions in the belief that Earth was to be recycled, and the only way to continue surviving would be to leave immediately. The time to leave Earth came in March of 1997 when Marcel claimed that they had a spacecraft that was traveling to the comet Hale-Bopp. The catch with this spacecraft, however? Well, Marcel told them that they all needed to stage taking their own lives in order for the UFO to take them to, quote, another level of existence above humans. 39 members of the cult, including Marcel himself, took their lives over the course of a few days. This is the largest event of its kind, next to the Jonestown Massacre. In our number 8 spot today, we have Ernest Norman. Ernest and his wife Ruth are credited with being the founders of what is called Unarius, which is an acronym for Universal Articulate Interdimensional Understanding of Science. This group believes in immortality of the soul and that all beings have been reincarnated many, many times. They also believe that in the past, the solar system was the home to an ancient interplanetary civilization, and that aliens are human beings who have lived on Earth as well as other planets, even those outside of our solar system. These aliens are said to be advanced, intelligent beings that exist on higher frequency planes. These aliens are more advanced than humans both spiritually as well as scientifically. The group is definitely best known for their predictions of UFOs landing on Earth, but they are also known for their, quote, spiritual teachings. In our number 7 spot today, we have L. Ron Hubbard. Scientology is a set of beliefs and practices that were invented by L. Ron Hubbard, and it has been variously defined as a cult. The core belief of this group is that humans are immortal and that our bodies are essentially just a shell to house us. Prior to landing in our human shells, however, this cult believes that our souls belonged to other extraterrestrial lives and that this life here on Earth is just one of many. Of course, that part in the text is only released to you once you spend $200,000 on the cult. This group is quite controversial, not only for the beliefs of the group, but because of their illegal activities that also occur, like fraud or spying on the government. There have been numerous Superior Court judgments that have not only called this group a dangerous cult, but also a manipulative profit-making business as well. In our number 6 spot today, we have Vinnie O. Vinnie is a person who thankfully doesn't run a terrifying cult, and is rather a person who is aspiring to be an alien. Vinnie has spent thousands and thousands of dollars on cosmetic procedures in order to achieve this alien look, and is even trying to have surgery in order to completely remove their genitals. They want to be completely sexless and even go as far as to remove their nipples and belly button. Vinnie explains that when they first moved to Los Angeles, they saw everything around them was about sex and beauty, and they just didn't want to be a part of that world. They wanted to be separate from the crowd and embrace unattractiveness and shun sexual objectification, which is why they chose a genderless alien as their muse. In our number 5 spot today, we have Dorothy Martin. The Seekers, also called the Brotherhood of the Seven Rays, were a group who were a part of a UFO religion that existed in the Midwestern United States in the mid-20th century. This group was originally organized by a man named Charles Laffhead, but was led by Dorothy Martin, who was often referred to as Sister Thedra. She believed that a UFO was coming to save them all from a catastrophe on December 21st, 1954, and this cult is often thought to be one of the earliest UFO religions. Of course, the UFO did not come, and while this made some members quite skeptical, others began to believe that they just had to to wait a few more days until Christmas Eve rolled around. When the second incident was a failure as well, this caused many people in the group to begin turning their backs to this religion, which is likely one of the reasons the group and its beliefs dissipated. In our number 4 spot today, we have Philip K. Dick. Philip is certainly best known for his science fiction writings, as he is the author of 44 novels and 121 short stories, but his stories might have been influenced by what was going on in his own personal life. Fellow writer Brad Steger discussed how Philip had written to him in the late 70s to say that he thought he might be what is referred to as a star person. The idea of star people goes back long before our New Age ideas, and it is actually often attributed to a belief that comes from Indigenous Americans, but of course this idea has been taken and modified to fit into our modern world. The idea is essentially that star people are these sort of alien-human hybrids, and this modern version of it was introduced by Brad Steger. He suggests that certain people originated as extraterrestrials and they arrived on Earth either through birth or as a quote-unquote walk-in to an existing human body. As I mentioned before, Philip wrote Brad suggesting that he believed he may be one of these people, which just might explain the varied philosophical and social questions that can be seen in his writings. In our number 3 spot today, we have George Van Tassel. George is a man who, in 1947, moved to Giant Rock near Landers in the Mojave Desert in California, and this is where he established a UFO center. Basically, he was a founding member of a UFO religion, and he was interested in collecting and analyzing UFO phenomena and interviewing people who had claimed to be contacted. In 1952, George began claiming that he received a message via telepathic communication, and that these messages were coming from an extraterrestrial called Ashtar. And not only this, but he also claimed to receive messages from people who had passed, such as Nikola Tesla, famous alien himself. George would also interpret the Christian Bible as a sort of alien intervention in the evolution of humans, and by this I mean he claimed that Jesus himself was an extraterrestrial. To receive these messages, George claimed that he was using a blend of human capabilities as well as the use of an allegedly advanced form of alien technology. Of course, this technology wasn't for everyone, it required the right person with proper training and proper meditation techniques. In our number 2 spot today, we have Maxine Dietrich. In the early 2000s, Maxine created the Joy of Satan Ministries, which is an esoteric occult organization that advocates for, quote, spiritual Satanism. This is basically said to be a combination of theistic Satanism, Gnostic paganism, Western esotericism, UFO conspiracy theories, and extraterrestrial beliefs. A lot going on there. Members believe Satan to be, quote, the true father and creator god of humanity, whose desire was for his creations, humanity, to elevate themselves through knowledge and understanding. Basically, at the core of this belief is the idea that there was some sort of ancient conflict between advanced extraterrestrial races and humans on Earth. They also believe that Satan is an alien, and he was able to create Earth humans from some sort of advanced genetic engineering. Aside from these already out there ideologies, are way more insane and extremely harmful beliefs as well. All in all, this is just one belief system that would probably be best to just stay far, far away from. In our number 1 spot today, we have Heidi Fuchs Garth. This is the person who is credited with founding a religious movement that is known as the Atman Foundation. This movement was active mainly on an island in the Canary Islands as well as in Germany. This movement received quite a bit of media attention in 1998 because of a huge scare that occurred. Basically, there were 32 members of this sect that believed they were going to be collected by a spacecraft and taken to a new, unspecified location on another planet. Failing this plan, however, the members were going to take their own lives. This is definitely quite a strange group, and it's unclear if they still exist or not, but hopefully not, considering the spacecraft they were all waiting for likely never came.
Starting off this countdown, we have Spring-Heeled Jack. Was Spring-Heeled Jack a mere legend to scare kids and adults, or was he actually a real person? You decide. So back in Victorian England, they had to worry about this terrifying man that would visit homes in the middle of the night. This man would ring the doorbell, and when someone would answer it, he would attack them. He was given the name Spring-Heeled Jack as witnesses said he had the ability to jump great distances and heights. Victims say he looked like a man dressed in red shoes and armor. Others claim he would wear loose-fitting black clothes with a helmet. He was also described as having a wicked smile. The very first sighting of Spring-Heeled Jack was in October of 1837. A woman named Mary Stevens was walking in her town when a tall man in a coat jumped down from a building right in front of her. He then attacked her and even tried to kiss her. Kinda weird. Someone heard her screams of terror and thankfully came to her rescue. They both saw Jack leap away. After this, more and more women fell victim to Jack. One in fact described him as wearing a very tight-fitted outfit that resembled white oilskin. Well, what if it wasn't an outfit he was wearing, but that was his cold, pale alien skin? This, along with the fact that he could leap and jump high and far distances, is what led people to believe Jack might have been an alien. Moving on to number 9, we have the Lightning Man. Roy Cleveland Sullivan was a well-known forest ranger in Virginia for one reason. He had an attraction to lightning. Over his years, he had been struck by lightning 7 times. 7. And every time, he has been pretty much left uninjured. How is that even possible unless he's not a human? So the first time he got struck was in 1942. He was completely fine, he just lost a nail off of his big toe. Then 27 years later he got struck again. The only thing that happened to him this time was he lost the hair on his eyebrows. Then in 1970 he was struck again. His only injury was a small burn on his left shoulder. In 1972 it happened again and his hair was set on fire. So on and so on. So first off, why does lightning seem to be attracted to him? And 2, how has he managed to survive every strike? Well, there are a couple of theories out there. One is that maybe he's an alien. Maybe his alien buddies from space keep zapping him with their space lasers trying to get him to come back home. And that's why he's never killed. He's not even human at all. He's an alien. In our 8th spot today we have Akhenaten. And if you guys are liking this video so far, then smash that like button. It's believed that Pharaoh Akhenaten was not only in contact with aliens that were controlling him, but that maybe he was an alien himself. Now, if you look at the way he was depicted in ancient Egyptian drawings, it was different than all the other pharaohs and gods. They were often depicted as majestic gods, they were good looking and they were muscular. Akhenaten is drawn the opposite. He's drawn with an elongated face and head, a long neck, small ribs, and a protruding belly. Why would they draw him like this? It must have been an accurate depiction of what he actually looked like, or else that's just insulting. The main fact that people were fixated on though was his elongated skull. Yes, back in the day some cultures would reshape their heads and faces, but they aren't able to add density to their heads. Akhenaten had a disproportionately large head that could not have been created by skull reshaping. So a number of people believe that Akhenaten was an alien, and he was sent down to rule ancient Egypt. Coming in at number 7 we have Osiris. The depictions of Osiris were always quite unusual because he was drawn with green skin. As a result, people think that he's out of this world. What else has green skin? Aliens. For starters, Osiris was the god of the underworld. He was a symbol of death and resurrection. As a result, he was depicted as a mummified bearded king holding a shepherd's crook and whip. According to a famous legend, he was actually killed by his brother who tore his body into 14 pieces. But in the end, he was resurrected by his wife. Now, if this story is true and not an actual myth, isn't it suspicious that a man with green skin died and then magically came back to life? As a result, a number of people believe that he was indeed an alien. In our 6th spot today we have Nina Kulagina. Nina Kulagina was famous in the 1960s for having psychic powers. She had the powers of telekinesis, so she could move objects using her mind. On a number of occasions she demonstrated her powers in front of people. She would place an object on the table and would be able to move it from one end to another. Obviously you had skeptics, so every time she performed this trick, she was carefully observed. She was able to move matches, small boxes, and cigarettes. Even the Russian military got involved and would study her. In the end, she was actually recruited by the Soviet government to work for them. So how could it be that this woman had these powers? Maybe it's because she's an alien. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with George Gurdjieff. George was a 20th century mystic and philosopher. He was known for teaching something known as the fourth way. Basically, he believed that humans had a way to become more elite, that we just needed to awaken to a higher state of consciousness and then we would be able to achieve full human potential. So the fourth way taught his disciples all about this. He talked about how we need to free our soul and increase and focus our intention to prevent absent-mindedness. From there, we would be a step closer to becoming a more elite form of humans. Now, what's eerie is that he never talked about the origins of his teachings. He wanted it all to be discreet. In fact, there are no traces of the schools he even went to. So what's the deal with this guy? Was he an alien trying to help humans advance or what? Moving on to number 4, we have Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a great, intelligent, and super talented artist and inventor. In fact, some believe that he was a little too intelligent for his time. So they believe he was an alien that was sent to Earth from space to help humans advance. For example, he proposed many modern day inventions in the late 1400s. That's hundreds of years before they were actually created. He came up with the idea of a tank, helicopters, submarines, self-propelled carts, aka cars, and machine guns. Maybe he already knew all about these inventions because aliens, being the advanced species that they are, already created them. Da Vinci's goal was then to share his insight on these inventions with the world. The only question is, why would the aliens want to help us? Coming in at number 3, we have Amelia Earhart. Amelia was a well-known American aviator who set numerous flying records. She is one of the most well-known explorers, and her disappearance has caused ongoing wonder. In 1937, Amelia set out with her navigator, Fred Noonan, to fly around the world. They were last heard from on July 2nd, 1937. 2 years later, she was declared dead. However, they never found her body. They just assumed that their plane crashed somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. Nonetheless, they still spent 15 years looking for the pair. In fact, searching for Earhart was the largest and most expensive search in American history. Now, there's this absolutely wild theory out there that Amelia and Fred were both aliens, and they actually set out on this mission with no intentions of ever coming back. They actually needed to get back to their home planet, which is why their plane or bodies have never been found to this day. In our second spot today, we have the magical healer. John D Reese of Ohio was known for having the touch of God. Just by touching people, he had the power to heal a number of injuries and maladies. It all started in 1887. One of his friends fell off of a ladder and seriously injured his spine. His physician took a look at it and declared he had a severe spinal strain, but it was miraculously cured one day when Reese, for some reason, ran his fingers up and down the man's back. Instantaneously, the man's pain was gone and he was able to get up and move around no problem. Another person he healed was a shortstop of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He suffered a bad back injury mid-game and actually had to be carried out from the field. Again, John ran his fingers up and down his spine and he was magically cured. He also cured a politician's weak hand and wrist from overuse. Doctors told him he needed to rest his hand for weeks to get the strength back, but John touched his hand and it was instantly better. So this dude must have been an alien with magical powers or something, because how else could he cure people in an instant? And in our number 1 spot today, we have Count of St Germaine. This guy is undeniably one of the most mysterious men in history. So St Germaine was a philosopher that apparently had the ability to teleport, levitate, and walk through walls. Not only that, he's said to be immortal. Apparently he discovered the secret of alchemy and created an elixir that would grant eternal life to whoever drank it. Now, we don't know much about him. Some people say he was born in the 1690s, whereas other people believe he was around during the birth of Jesus. One thing that's certain, he has appeared a number of times throughout history when he should have been dead. For example, it was 1760 and St Germaine was invited for a soiree at the home of Madame de Pompadour, the mistress of King Louis XV of France. Now the Countess was shocked when she met him because he looked exactly the same, which was impossible because she met the Count in 1710 in Venice. When she met him, he was 45 years old. He shouldn't have been alive, but there he was and he had not aged a day. She was totally in shock by this, as anyone would be. Over the next 40 years, St Germaine traveled all throughout Europe and never aged a day. Most recently in 1972, a man named Richard Chanfray claimed that he was the one and only Count. He even went on to turn lead into gold on a camp stove to prove he was this legendary Count with magical powers. So due to the fact that this dude has magical powers and never ages and seems to be immortal, people believe that he is in fact an alien.
In our number 10 spot, we have Ramen Manuel. Chicago Mayor Ramen Manuel may be a shapeshifter reptile. I'll let you decide. In September 2012, during a press conference, viewers noticed that his eyes seemed to transform into, well, I'm not quite sure I know how to describe this because it's terrifying. Around his eyes, we see darkness of some sort, and suddenly his actual eyes become enlarged. Honestly, whatever happened wasn't human. Did he reveal himself as a shapeshifter reptile? I'm thinking yes. If you're enjoying this video so far, smash that like button as it'll really help us out. In our number 9 spot, we have Timothy Geithner. Former secretary to the treasurer, Timothy Geithner has been accused of being a shapeshifter. Why? Well, because there's some weird footage of him possibly doing just that. Footage was taken of him at a press conference sitting and listening to the speaker when all of a sudden something starts happening to his right eye. A weird pattern that honestly looks like a pattern that you would see on a butterfly wing starts to form around his eye, sort of cupping it. It seems that it happens for a few seconds before he realizes it and tries to cover it up by touching the area, and in an instant, it's gone. No one can deny that the footage is rather odd, especially as he touches the area and poof, it's magically gone. It is super possible that we have a butterfly shapeshifter on our hands. Imagine. If I could be a shapeshifter, that's what I would want to be. Something with wings. Probably a fairy. That would be great. In our number 8 spot, we have US General David Petraeus. On June 15, 2010, the US General David Petraeus appeared to faint during a conference, but at one point though, his face appeared to be, well, not human. The footage of this one does appear to be a tad blurry, but it does seem like something has happened to his face. His face looks like it's, deformed, and the person that was looking at him and talking before he fainted did look a tad scared, but it could have been because he could see something was wrong. So there's that. But also, at one point, somebody stood up and conveniently blocked the camera from seeing him, so that's sus. But honestly, the footage for this one is too blurry for me to say, yeah, probs are reptiles. But the people that filmed it and shared it definitely said that they saw something that day and it did not look human. In our number 7 spot, we have Lady Gaga. Okay, Lady Gaga is an interesting one because there is a video that seemingly shows something going on with her eyes, but also she literally said on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert that she, quote, has always liked to shapeshift. Very sus, Gaga. The viewers of the show thought that it was a very interesting choice of words, and so many thought that there was a bit of truth to what she said, as if the energy around the word held more weight. I don't know. Certainly there are so many people that believe that Lady Gaga has had contact with the devil, and so it would make sense if she was a shapeshifter. Remember that time she suspended something in the air with her magical force field? Okay, but for real, is she a magical devil-like being or a shapeshifter? Would love to know your vote in the comment section below. In our number 6 spot, we have Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle, actress turned literal princess when she married Prince Harry, has had quite some speculation around her over being a robot. Now, I've heard many things, including reptilian, and some people believe something has just, replaced her. But the robot shapeshifter is an interesting theory. It started when a clip went viral over Harry and Meghan wearing masks to promote Madame Tussauds new Harry and Meghan edition. But what made everyone feel the creeps is not just the fact that their facial expressions are unsettling, but also because Meghan is not blinking. Terrifying. Whereas Harry apparently was. Anyways, I think that this got everyone to start theorizing that even though this is a mask, she may actually be a shapeshifter robot, and you know what? I don't blame them. We're probs living in iRobot and don't even know it. In our number 5 spot, we have President Bush. Now, this is a clip of Papa Bush, the 41st president of the US, speaking in an interview, and his eyes seem to change. For those of you who don't live in North America, there is a George Bush Sr. and Jr., and they both became president of the US. Anyways, this clip is of George Sr., aka Papa Bush, and most people are in agreement that he is absolutely a reptilian. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to be convinced that all the politicians are, but who knows? Maybe the whole world is. Maybe I am. Honestly, I wish I could shapeshift. Then I would just shapeshift myself into a passenger that has a ticket to board a flight to Paris and peace out of here. You know what I mean? Anyways, in this clip, his eyes definitely form into slits, and there's no doubt that if this clip is real, and so many say that it is, then, you know, he's definitely not human. In our number 4 spot, we have Eileen Wos. Eileen Wos, who is known as an American serial killer, did a number of interviews before she was executed on October 9th, 2002. During a number of her interviews, people claimed to have seen some weird shape-shifting happening. This is a clip of an interview that she did where her eyes appeared to show that infamous reptile slit. You know, there is so many people that believe that sometimes shapeshifters are responsible for some of the worst crimes in the world, and then they just, you know, shapeshift out of prison afterwards after taking over the body of humans. That's definitely an interesting theory. I mean, regardless, clearly Eileen was evil, so even if she's not a shapeshifter, I'm sure someone could make a case for her being possessed by a demon. In our number 3 spot, we have Reptile Woman. This woman has been dubbed Reptile Woman for pretty obvious reasons. The footage that was taken of this mystery woman surfaced online and was apparently not altered in any way. The footage seems quite normal until it's broken down frame by frame, and suddenly it's as if you see a different person. Her hands look different, her back, her face, and her eyes. It's fascinating. I personally wish the footage was easier to see, as it's not fully convincing me looking at something so blurry. It just makes me feel like it's been altered, but who knows? I may be wrong, and it sure seems like a lot of people believe that it's real. There have been a few people that have tried to debunk it, and truly I think I'm with them on their analysis. This one is too blurry for me to think that it's possibly real, but whatever. It might be. In our number 2 spot, we have M.W. Jeffrey Black Hodgson. Let's call him Jeff, you know, for short. So Jeff is the Grand Master of the Masons in Massachusetts. Yeah, if you don't know anything about the Masons, then definitely have a Google sesh later tonight. That's a whole other rabbit hole in itself. But yeah, if you know anything about the Masons, then you probably won't be surprised that they are on this list. The Grand Master, the big guy calling the shots, is in this video, and he certainly shows signs of being a shapeshifter. From his eyes suddenly showing slits to his skin apparently showing evidence, there are a lot of people that believe that this guy is a shapeshifter. And in our number 1 spot, we have Britney Spears. Okay, this one I refuse to believe is real, because I love her. God, I do not want to believe it, but the footage certainly makes you think that it's possible that she's a shapeshifter, or that a shapeshifter at some point had taken over her body. That to me would check out more when you think of everything that she has been fighting for recently in terms of her freedom and gaining full control of her body back again. Who knows? Perhaps there is way more to it than we can imagine. I just love her though, so I refuse to believe that she was born a reptile. Anyways, in this shot, her eyes seemingly show slits at times, just like a lot of the other footage that we've shown, and this would point to some kind of reptile living within her.
Starting off this countdown, we have Mark Zuckerberg. Rumor has it that Mark Zuckerberg is an alien or a lizard person. Let me explain. In a number of interviews, people notice that Mark Zuckerberg barely blinks. It's true. I've seen videos, and this dude must have like some watery eyes or something, cause he blinked like once every minute. He just sat there with his eyes wide open, looking like an alien. Then people went on to say that he wears contact lenses to hide his yellow lizard pupils. Maybe that's why he's so smart, because he's an alien. Either that or he's a robot or something. His weird mannerisms has everyone spooked. Conspiracy theorists are adamant that he's going to take over the world and destroy democracy. It's crazy. Coming in at number 9, we have Jeffrey Bezos. I'm sensing a theme here, okay? People like to think that rich, powerful men are aliens. Jeffrey Bezos, CEO, entrepreneur, born in 1964, is another individual that might be an alien. Also, that was a reference to Bo Burnham. I love him. His song Jeffrey Bezos, go check it out. Not only is he very intelligent, but people have been studying his mannerisms and think there's something wrong with him. Take a look at this.
But that was actually not supposed to be a bad pun. And then disclosure, you are...
Is it just me, or is his laugh undeniably creepy. He keeps his eyes wide open and locked on his target while laughing. Also, it seems forced. Maybe aliens don't have any emotions, so he has to force himself to laugh at jokes so he seems normal. I don't even know what to think anymore. Also, side note, someone deepfaked Jeffrey into a Star Trek episode, and let's just say I'm now scarred for life.
Is this a deception? Do you intend to destroy yourselves?
Moving on to number 8, we have Alien Barbie. Ukrainian woman Valeria Lukyanova is known as the human Barbie doll. She's got an impossible tiny waist, wide doll-like eyes, and a big bust. In fact, to achieve this look, she had some of her ribs removed. But not only is she a real-life Barbie doll, but she also claims that she's a time-traveling alien. Yes, you heard me correctly. This woman claims that she's not human. She said that she's an alien that has come to Earth to save the world. Little late for that. But what is she saving us from, you ask? Well, she says negative energy. Okay. And she has a goal to transform humans into demigods. I mean, that's cool. I want to be a demigod, so sign me up for that. She also has claimed to be a breatharian. She says that she lives off of nothing but light and air. So maybe she really is an alien, because it's physically impossible to live off of just light and air. Like, you need food and water. Coming in at number 7, we have Grimes. Grimes might just be an alien, and so might be her partner, Elon Musk, but more on him later. But how cute, 2 aliens came from space and connected on Earth. That's what I call destiny and true love. Anyways, if you follow her, then you know she's quite the character. And just recently, she got alien scars on her back. Or at least that's what she calls them. They're just a bunch of light-colored lines that she got tattooed on her back. But maybe aliens actually have tattoos or designs like that on their backs, and she knows something that we don't know. I mean, there's a huge conspiracy out there that Grimes is an alien. Just search on Reddit and you'll find a number of people who believe this theory. Moving on, at number 6 we have Poppy.
Hi, it's me, Poppy. Hi, I'm Poppy.
Poppy is an American singer, songwriter, musician, and YouTuber. She is known for her very unusual videos where she talks in a very soft and high-pitched voice. Is this just her persona or stage act, or is she an alien? Now, there's so many different theories surrounding her. From being part of the Illuminati, to being created by the government, to being a hologram, to even being a robot. I'm telling you, there's tons of theories out there. But a more popular one is that she's an alien from space. Most of this is based off of her mannerisms in her videos, and the fact that we hardly know anything about her true self. One video that really started this theory was one where she reacts to a Fine Bros video. In this video, she cited every single word that was shown from her older videos. And she did this without showing any emotions, and without even acknowledging the kids that were reacting to her. It's very weird, to say the least.
Hi, I'm Poppy.
You're freaking me out.
I wanted to see you.
What the heck?
Thanks for coming down here with me.
We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Steve Buscemi. And I just want to start off by saying that he's an amazing actor. Like, totally underrated, and I'm so happy talking about him because, also fun fact, we share the same birthday, so I just feel this connection to him. So Steve, if you're watching this, I want to be your friend. Anyways, people often judge Steve based off of his looks. I mean, I think he was on the list of like ugliest people in Hollywood or something like that, which like, that is mean. How did they get away with that? That's super hurtful. Lists like that just shouldn't exist, okay? But anyways, due to his unique appearance, people think that Steve is out of this world. They think that he's an alien or a cryptoid or something like that. There's even a bunch of memes out there making fun of Steve, saying that he's an alien. I personally don't think he's one. Like, if we're judging based off looks, that's just mean. He's a great guy. But I still put him on this list for all you people out there that think that he could be one. Watch him actually be an alien. I'm like defending him. In our 4th spot, we have Tilda Swinton, who, might I add, is another incredible actor. Tilda's range is unbelievable. She is unrecognizable in some roles. Like, she goes from playing the White Witch in the Chronicles of Narnia, to the Ancient One in Doctor Strange, to Thora Thacker in Hail Caesar. She's just so versatile. And that's why some people think that she's an alien, because the ease in which she can transform her appearance and look like a completely different person, or the ease in which she can change her personality and behave like a completely different person. I mean, I just call that good acting, but then other people are like, aliens! Also, people think that she's an alien because she has a unique appearance. Again, let's not judge a book by its cover here. It seems like the people trying to behave normally are the ones we should be concerned about, okay? In our third spot, we have Bill Gates. I wish I had the amount of wealth that Bill Gates had, and now he's single, so Bill, hit me up. Just kidding. You're too old for me. Anyways, according to some people, Bill is an alien. How come aliens always have to be the richest people? Like, seriously, you got Mark, you got Jeffrey Bezos, and now Bill. How come all the alien dudes are rich? Anyways, the main reason why people think that he's an alien is due to his advanced knowledge on computers and technology. So aliens are supposed to be highly advanced creatures. They created highly advanced spacecrafts to travel throughout space and to Earth. Maybe Bill was sent from space to help advance human life. And then he liked it so much here that he decided to stick around. Or maybe he got too famous and was like, oh crap, I can't just disappear from the public eye. They're gonna wonder where I went. And now he's kind of stuck on Earth against his will. Moving on to number 2, we have Stephen Colbert. Honestly, he's the last person I would think to be an alien. But that's a good thing, right? It means that he's being stealthy about it. It's always the people you least expect. So a woman named Liz Brown came up with proof as to why she believes Stephen is an alien. Her first point is his intelligence. She said, and I quote, "A recent report showed that viewers of the Colbert Report are more well informed about political and social issues than viewers of legitimate news programs on ABC or CNN. Most alien experts agree that our interplanetary friends have a level of intelligence far beyond human capabilities. Of course, this could also mean that regular Colbert Report viewers are being groomed for abduction." End of quote. Imagine that, Stephen using his show to gain fans and then abduct them and use them in tests run by aliens. The next point she made is his immunity from diseases. She said that she has never seen him get sick. She said, and I quote, "What kind of regular human beings can consume Bud Light Lime on a regular basis on air and still not get sick?" End quote. She's kind of got a point there. She then also went on to talk about Stephen's love for space. In 2009, he made a public campaign telling his viewers to vote for the new treadmill on the International Space Station to be named after him. Why did he want this so badly? Well, it could be that this was a way to send a message to his alien friends out there, telling them like, we did it, I'm in control of the humans, this is proof. Crazy, isn't it? Makes you really think. And in our number 1 spot today we have Elon Musk. Why does Elon Musk want to go to Mars so bad? Honestly, he just wants to return to his home planet. He has announced a number of times that he wants to retire and die on Mars. He probably hates it here on Earth and is dying to get back. Let's look at more evidence. This dude invented the Tesla, like he's super intelligent. First off, he got into the electrical vehicle business, which only represents 0.1% of all cars sold. Looking at that, it would seem like a bad thing to get into. But nonetheless, he did, and he succeeded. Why? Because he's got alien capabilities to not only see into the future, but also create high-tech things, like Teslas. Someone else added that his end goal is to save Earth. He's seen into the future and how bad global warming gets. So he's trying to reduce global emissions through his cars. Maybe make them cheaper then. Not only that, but on a number of occasions he has tweeted out some suspicious things. Someone tweeted at him asking if he was an alien, and he said, obviously. So, he just admitted it, okay? I know he's just joking, but still. Another time he tweeted saying aliens built the pyramids. I mean, he was probably one of the aliens there building them alongside the Egyptians. In the end, everything he is doing on Earth is to save us, and then, help himself get back to his home planet.
Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have Yvon Cole. Yvon is a person who claimed back in 1986 that they were receiving messages from an extraterrestrial being. They predicted that all Earth civilizations would be destroyed and that there would be multiple alien cultures that arrived to the planet in 1994, which, as far as I can tell, didn't happen. Yvon even went as far as to claim that the government was working in cahoots with these alien beings. They said that the alien landing would be broadcast, but by then humans would have been conditioned to have no problem accepting the new extraterrestrials, as they will advance the evolution of our humanity. Of course, as these predictions continued to fail, people who followed the same UFO religion as Yvon began getting disappointed and their faith started to waver. Despite this wavering faith, however, there were of course some very devout followers who also claimed that they were able to channel these messages from aliens. In our number 9 spot today, we have Alan Michael. Alan is credited with being the founder of the UFO religion called the Universal Industrial Church of the New World Comforter. Really rolls off the tongue. Alan claimed that in 1947 he was contacted by the quote, great galactic being that has manifested itself in our Milky Way galaxy. This being asked him to serve as the supernatural comforter and to preach supernatural truth to the world. This wasn't his only encounter with extraterrestrials, however, as he also claimed to have physically encountered a flying saucer in the Mojave Desert in 1954. The founding of this cult came in 1973 when he also published his first volume of channeled revelations entitled The Everlasting Gospel. This has nothing to do with space, but I just couldn't leave this part out. Alan also ran for President of the United States in the 1980 and 1984 elections on the Utopian Synthesis Party ticket. I don't think you need to be a history buff to know that he didn't win. In our number 8 spot today, we have Hans Gunther Froelich. Hans is the man who is credited with the founding of a cult which we are going to call THG for short. Headquartered in Vienna, Austria, this cult was founded in the 1980s and 90s, and they enjoy handing out pamphlets with quite an interesting idea of how life came to this planet. They suggest that a certain race of humans actually came to Atlantis from a star, which they allege is information that they gathered from ancient Sumerian manuscripts. This cult has a whole pile of extremely controversial beliefs, all based on the idea that this race of extraterrestrial beings are divine and that they came here to dominate the others. Those who believe in this wild set of values and stories apparently also believe that there is a giant space fleet on their way from the star to Earth, where they will all join forces and complete what they believe is the path we are destined to follow. It's not hard to tell that these beliefs are extremely harmful, and I think it just goes without saying that this is a UFO religion we can all just stay away from. In our number 7 spot today, we have Billy Meier. Billy is the founder of the UFO religion called Free Community of Interests for the Border and Spiritual Sciences in Ufological Studies. Didn't know ufological was a word. He claims to have been contacted by aliens and that he even has photographs that clearly show UFOs. He claims that he is in regular contact with extraterrestrials called Plagiarin, and he also claims to be the 7th reincarnation after 6 other prophets: Enoch, Elijah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Jesus, and Muhammad. Billy also claims to have other materials as proof of his alien encounters, such as metal samples, sound recordings, and even video footage. In our number 6 spot today, we have Ivo A. Benda. Ivo has an entire movement centered around them. The Universe People, or Cosmic People of Light Powers, is a Czech movement that is centered upon the belief system that extraterrestrial civilizations not only exist, but are communicating with Ivo and other quote-unquote contactors. It is said that this has been occurring since October of 1997, and while the original contact was telepathically, it has since moved to become direct personal contact. According to Ivo, these civilizations operate a fleet of spaceships that orbit and closely watch Earth as they wait to help the good by eventually transporting them to another dimension. This UFO religion is sort of like a mix of many others and even includes some Christian teachings as well. In our number 5 spot today, we have Han Ming Chen. Han Ming is the founder of Chen Tao, which is a UFO religion. Han Ming was actually an atheist until he joined a religious cultivation group. After breaking from this group, for a short period he created another group with one more person, but shortly after broke that off as well. He then moved to the United States, and from here is when he began to start incorporating more pseudo-scientific information when it came to his beliefs around the cosmos and UFOs, as well as including the Christian motifs of the prophecy of the end of the Great Tribulation. It is said that now this religion mixes beliefs of Buddhism, Taoism, and UFOlogy, and that it focuses mainly on how we each have 3 souls that are able to transmigrate. A lot of focus on spiritual energy here. Han Ming believes that the Earth went through 5 periods of tribulations that date back to the age of dinosaurs, and that each of these events were only survived by beings from North America who were rescued by God in a flying saucer. He also believed that the solar system is 4.5 trillion years old, which is roughly 300 times the age science gives for the universe, and he also believes that the solar system was created by a nuclear war. Not sure where he got that one from. In our number 4 spot today we have William Ferguson. Back in the 1950s, the Chicago mailman by the name of William Ferguson created a cult called the Cosmic Circle of Fellowship after he claimed that he had made contact with beings from another planet. William claimed that by going into a state of extreme relaxation, our mind, souls, and bodies could potentially just cease to exist. After experimenting with this state for about a year, William began to claim that he could transport himself to the 6th and even 7th dimensions. Not only this, but that every time he returned to Earth, he found his body no longer existed, and he had to recreate it by strenuous psychic exertions. William started to claim that he could channel techniques for healing and spiritual development through a pan-dimensional entity called Kauga. He actually said that he could use this special technique given to him by Kauga, where he could clarify water in a way that would heal almost any disease. This of course resulted in him being charged with medical quackery and the perpetration of medical fraud, for which he was convicted and imprisoned. After his release, he began explaining that he had been transporting himself to Mars, and that he had even taken trips aboard a spacecraft. He revealed that the spacemen and their ships exist in higher dimensions and can therefore appear in and disappear from our own space-time at their own will. In our number 3 spot today we have Erica Hedwig Bertschinger Ike. Erica is said to be the founder of the quote religious order that is called Fiat Lux, which is Latin for let there be light. This group has members that mostly live in Germany, and Erica was said to be the spiritual leader and trance medium that went by Urilla. According to members, she actually was able to receive messages from not only Jesus Christ, but also Mary as well, the mother of Jesus. Those who follow this group believe that the apocalypse is coming and that alien ships are going to arrive to evacuate those who follow the religion. After this, they are going to transform the Earth into a new paradise called Amora. Apparently, the end of the world was supposed to arrive in 1998, but it's now been postponed, quote, due to the immense praying energies of the faithful. In our number 2 spot today we have Sheldon Nid. The Ground Crew Project is a UFO religion that was started by Sheldon Nid, who began posting about it online in 1996. Basically, this religion believes that the Earth is on the verge of a cosmic transformation, which was expected to happen as the Earth apparently made its passage through the high energy properties of a quote-unquote photon belt in the 1990s. This religion basically just wants to ensure that humanity is prepared for the first large-scale contact between Earth and the Galactic Federation, which is said to be the alien organization that will help with this upcoming transformation. Members of the group are said to be acting as sort of mediators and almost like the spokespeople between the extraterrestrials and the populations of Earth. Of course, there have been a series of failed predictions over when this was going to happen, so now the group just says that the contact is going to happen, quote, as soon as possible, and that in the meantime the group is doing what they can to prepare mankind ahead of time. In our number 1 spot today we have Marshall V. Summers. The worldwide community of the New Message from God is a new religious movement that is centered around, quote, the messenger, Marshall V. Summers. It is said that he is the prophet on the order of Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad, and that he is able to receive otherworldly communication. He has taken to recording these communications, the transcripts of which reach about 10,000 pages. The main point of these communications warns of an upcoming incursion on Earth called the Intervention. Basically, he claims that this is going to be a global upheaval that involves interactions between humans and extraterrestrials, which he says are from the, quote, greater community.
Starting off this countdown, we have Tom Cruise. Of course, I'm sure you know that Tom Cruise is a huge figure with the Church of Scientology, probably its most famous member. Well, there's a freaking legend or theory, I don't even know what to call it, that Tom Cruise is half alien or full alien, and that's why the church bows down to him. According to the Washington Post, Scientologists believe that Xenu once expelled humans to Earth from another planet, and their disembodied spirits live in everyone. So it seems that Tom Cruise might be part alien. Plus, it's also been rumored that Cruise built an alien bunker at his estate in Colorado. Why? Maybe out of fear that the aliens will come after him or something, I don't know. Plus, this dude does some daring stunts in Mission Impossible that I don't think any normal human would agree to. Just saying. Coming in at number 9, we have Will Smith. Now, I personally love Will Smith, but there's a whole theory out there that Will Smith is an alien. For starters, he doesn't age, and plus he's perfect, like a little too perfect. Let's not forget about the Men in Black movies about a bunch of secret aliens. Now people would be like, why would an alien star in an alien movie? It's the perfect disguise, like hiding in plain sight. It's pretty genius if you ask me. Coming in at number 8, we have Christopher Walken. That's my impression of Christopher Walken. Now, I'm not the person to judge a book by its cover, but Christopher Walken is on this list because people think that he just looks like an alien. Which, I mean, we can't just go call odd-looking people aliens. Anyways, besides his appearance, Walken is a pretty versatile actor. He plays different characters with ease. Maybe because he's had years of practice pretending to be a human. I don't know, man. Maybe he's an alien, maybe he's not. In our 7th spot today, we have Adam Driver. Now this seems like another silly one, cause it is. But on Reddit, people were posting about celebrities who they think are aliens, and someone had this to say, and I quote, "Adam Driver is an alien. He looks like an alien trying to look human." And that is the funniest thing I have ever heard in my entire life, and now I can't unsee it, so there you go. In our 6th spot today, we have Miley Cyrus. I don't know if you all know this, but Miley Cyrus apparently had a really creepy alien encounter. Back in October of 2020, Cyrus did an interview in which she claimed she was chased down by a UFO. Seems pretty suspicious, right? Like, why would an alien chase down Miley Cyrus? Unless she's an alien herself, or the alien was just a really big fan of hers. According to Miley Cyrus, she was driving through San Bernardino with her friend when she got chased by this UFO. It had a big plow on the front of it, and it was glowing yellow. And then apparently she went into space or something like that. I didn't quite understand. But she said, and I quote, "I did see a being sitting in front of the flying object. It looked at me and we made eye contact, and I think that's what really shook me, looking into the eyes of something that I couldn't quite wrap my head around." So fans think that Miley Cyrus is an alien. Maybe her memory was wiped when she came down to Earth, and now they're coming back for her. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Benedict Cumberbatch. Another person that straight up just looks like an alien. I had to say it, I'm sorry. Or an alien trying to disguise himself as human. For starters, he straight up has piercing blue eyes that will make you uncomfortable when you look into them for too long. And again, he's a very versatile actor. Did you see him playing Smaug in Lord of the Rings doing his whole motion cap thing? Like, the dude was on the floor all hunched over. He really embodied the character. Kind of like a shape-shifting alien. I don't know, man. He is either an alien or a lizard person. In our 4th spot, we have Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is incredible. Can we all just give him a round of applause right now? Like, this dude is an amazing actor, singer, and most importantly, stunt performer. The stunts he does in his films are out of this world. Maybe literally, if he's an alien. But also, on a number of occasions, he has dislocated things and broken bones, etc. Yet, he still manages to heal super fast and get back up and continue to work. How does he manage to do this? Maybe it's because he's an alien. He's got no weakness. He falls down and dusts himself off, and then he's good to go again. For example, his most brutal injury was on the set of Armor of God. During one of the scenes, he fell straight onto his back and his head smashed on a rock. As a result, a piece of bone got wedged in his brain. He began bleeding internally and he was super close to dying. But he got up and kept going. Any normal person would have been like, hell no, I'm not doing that again. But not Jackie, because he's an alien. In our 3rd spot, we have Elvis. Now this one took me by surprise, but there's a whole bunch of people that believe that Elvis is an alien, and actually he faked his death. Why? Well, obviously humans can't live forever and he needed to go back to his home planet. But he misses Earth, so he comes back to visit every so often. And that's why people have claimed to have seen him. The first sighting was right after his death. They saw a man headed to Memphis airport that looked exactly like Elvis. The man purchased a one-way ticket to Argentina under the name John Burroughs, which was the alias Elvis used when booking hotels. Not only that, but on December 31st, 1977, a photo surfaced of what appeared to be Elvis sitting in Mike Joseph's pool house. And there have been many, many more sightings since. So maybe he's a frickin' alien. He just comes and goes to Earth as he pleases. In our second spot today, we have the Queen of England. Queen Elizabeth II is another individual who people truly believe is an alien. For starters, this woman is 95 years old and is going strong. She seriously does not look 95 at all. It's not only her though. People think a lot of the members of the royal family are aliens or lizard people. Conspiracy theorist David Icke believes this and has proof to back it up. So he said, and I quote, "I have traveled and been to 50 countries to research it. It took the form of meeting people who tell of experiences of seeing people, often in positions of power, change from human form to a reptilian form and back again in front of their eyes." Not only that, but obviously back in the day, those reptilian alien people were worshipped and considered gods. The royals may have gotten their start as royalty because of their ancestors being these alien people. Plus, why are they obsessed with inbreeding among the royals? Okay, it's to keep the alienness within the family.
And we're starting off the list with Dolce Bas. Some whistleblowers have claimed that Dolce Bas, a supposed underground facility in New Mexico, is involved in genetic experiments, including the creation of human-alien hybrids. The origin of the Dolce Bas conspiracy theory began back in the 80s when UFO researcher Paul Benowitz claimed he had intercepted electronic communications between alien beings and the US government. Benowitz's reports included mention of this base. One of the most prominent claims associated with Dolce Bas involves the creation of human-alien hybrids. Some conspiracy theorists suggest that extraterrestrial beings collaborate with the government at Dolce Bas to conduct genetic experiments, resulting in the development of hybrids that possess a combo of human and alien traits. These hybrids are often portrayed as part of a secret agenda aimed at enhancing human capabilities and serving other unknown purposes. Next up, we have the Young Hae Chi theory. Dr. Young Hae Chi, an instructor in Korean at Oxford's Oriental Institute, made some interesting statements a few years back. Alien abductions have been reported for years. It's always been a mystery as to why they occur. Are they experimenting on us, implanting us with unknown alien devices? Well, according to this instructor, these supposed abductions aren't malicious in nature. They have more to do with alien beings attempting to overcome climate change. In a 2012 lecture, Dr. Chi discussed how a highly advanced alien species had already made contact with the people of Earth, interbreeding with us after these abductions, attempting to form a race of hybrids to colonize the planet. He talked about how the rise in alien abductions seemed to coincide with major problems arising on Earth, like the invention of nuclear weapons and the increasing changes in climate, and that the aliens' belief is that a more intelligent hybrid species would fare better at protecting the planet. He went on to talk about it being a human's job to not only protect the planet for our own good, but to prove the aliens wrong and their assumption of superiority. At our number 8 spot, we have the friendship case. The friendship case refers to a series of alleged contact experiences between humans and extraterrestrial beings that occurred in Italy between the 1950s and 60s. The encounters were reported by a group of individuals who had been contacted by a highly advanced alien species who claimed to have established peaceful and cooperative relationships with them. The story goes that a number of face-to-face meetings and telepathic communications happened between the contactees and the aliens. These encounters reportedly took place in rural areas away from the public eye, and the humans were shown like alien bases on Earth, as well as other highly advanced scientific and spiritual knowledge being shared with them. According to the contactees, these alien beings were all about the importance of peace and unity and ecological balance. The friendship case gained attention in the UFO community because of the detailed accounts and the consistency of these accounts amongst multiple witnesses. Some folks have speculated that during these peaceful interactions, some of these folks may have gotten a little handsy with their new space friends, resulting in some alien-human hybrids. Number 7, the Antonio Villas-Boas abduction. In 1957, a Brazilian farmer by the name of Antonio Villas-Boas reported one of the strangest alien abduction stories in UFO history. He claimed that on the night of October 15th, he was working in his family's fields when he saw this bright red star-like object in the sky. This object, according to Villas-Boas, descended and eventually landed, revealing itself to be a strange egg-shaped craft. From the craft emerged humanoid creatures wearing gray overalls and helmets. These beings abducted him, taking him aboard their craft. He described the aliens as around 5 feet tall, with small blue eyes and white hair. He claimed that they took samples of his blood, conducted medical examinations, and then led him into a room where he was introduced to a naked humanoid female. Oh boy. By the sounds of his description, they sound like attractive aliens too. Round, small, beady eyes, white hair. I mean, come on. According to Antonio, though, this one actually was pretty attractive, and apparently they proceeded to have a bizarre encounter. Afterwards, he was released, and the craft ascended back into the sky, leaving him alone and confused in the field. They didn't even buy him a drink. He later reported the incident to his family, who would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that awkward conversation. I would not tell my family about that. That is something I would maybe tell a couple friends about, but not my mom and dad. Eventually the story reached the Brazilian military and local authorities, and his account drew a lot of attention from the media and UFO researchers. There are some terrifying alien abduction stories. Take Travis Walton's, for example, where he was experimented on his crazy ways. Gotta say though, as creepy as this would have been, not the worst thing that could happen. At least, I don't know, at least for me, alright? I don't know. It's not every day you get to, anyway. Let's move on. Next on the list we have the Dr. David M. Jacobs theory. Jacobs taught history at Temple University. He also spent 35 years interviewing people who claimed to have been abducted by extraterrestrials. First, he was a complete skeptic, but the more people he interviewed, the more he started to notice just how similar these accounts were. Despite coming from people who had seemingly no contact with one another, what he came to believe is that according to him, these abductions are being carried out by extraterrestrials in order to create human-alien hybrids, in order to colonize the planet, and that they're amongst us as we speak. Now, this is pretty outlandish. I haven't talked to as many people as this guy has about their first-hand alien abduction stories, though, so who really knows? But from where I stand, this is pretty hard to believe. What do you all think, though? Let us know in the comments. And at number 5, we have another David story, David Huggins. Huggins is an artist with most of his work depicting extraterrestrial beings. For him, these aren't pieces of fantastical work, though. They are depictions of his first-hand accounts with alien abductions, which he claims to have had a lot of. His odd experiences with aliens began when he was just 8 years old, and it persisted as he grew up. Perhaps his strangest story is how he met an alien named Crescent, who, according to him, was actually a hybrid. And the story goes that Huggins did a lot more than hugging with this strange entity. Yes, his first time was with a human-alien hybrid. He also claims to have had over 50 children with her who visited him along with Crescent. They're also accompanied by several of your classic gray aliens and insectoid type beings who are their leaders. All sounds pretty legit to me. Honestly, whether any of this is true or not, whether it's just a big hoax he's concocted for fun, or if he actually believes what he says, he seems to be living his best life, making some pretty cool art out of it as well, so I'm into it. Check some of the paintings out. They're kind of creepy, but I don't know, interesting. Next on the list we have Simon Parkes. Simon Parkes is a British British politician and self-proclaimed alien abductee who has gained attention for his interesting claims about his experiences with extraterrestrial beings. He claims to have been contacted by a 9-foot-tall green alien who claimed to be his true mother when he was a baby. According to Parks, his mother, who he refers to as the Green Lady, is a mantid extraterrestrial, a type of alien that supposedly resembles a praying mantis. Parks claims that his encounters with extraterrestrial beings began in his childhood. He says that these experiences continued into adulthood, including interactions with the Green Lady, aka his mom. He describes his relationship with his alien mother as complex, involving telepathic communication and a sense of connection that goes beyond human understanding. Parks has shared his experiences in interviews, radio shows, and conferences with the UFO and conspiracy theory communities, but he was also quoted saying, "For many people who don't experience it, it's very hard to accept. We are taught to only see and believe what we can touch, but it's acceptable to believe in religion. It's a personal matter and it doesn't affect my work. I'm more interested in fixing someone's leaking roof or potholes. People don't want me to talk about aliens." Number 3, Linda Moulton Howe. Linda Moulton Howe is a prominent American investigative journalist, author, and ufologist known for her research on unidentified flying objects and alleged extraterrestrial encounters. She's conducted a ton of interviews with people who claim to be alien abductees or had contact with alien beings, including human-alien hybrids. Throughout her career, Howe has explored various abduction stories where individuals have reported encounters with human-alien hybrids. She's gathered testimonies, investigated the narratives of these alleged abductees. Her interviews often include detailed descriptions of these hybrid beings, accounts of genetic experiments, encounters with advanced technologies. These accounts typically involve claims of reproductive experiments, where abductees report being subjected to procedures that imply the creation of human-alien hybrid offspring. Next on the list we have the strange case of Jeffrey Alan Lash. Jeffrey Alan Lash was a mysterious guy who gained attention in 2015 after his death in Los Angeles, California. Lash was found dead in his car, and authorities discovered a whackload of weapons, ammunition, and cash in his home. What made this case even stranger, though, was the claim made by his fiancée, Catherine Nebron, that Lash was a human-alien hybrid. According to Nebron, Lash had told her that he was a hybrid with extraterrestrial origins, part human and part alien. He claimed that he was sent to Earth on a mission and possessed special powers as a result of this hybrid nature. Nebron believed Lash's story and thought he was a secret government agent involved in covert operations. She also claimed that Lash had instructed her not to contact authorities after his death because it would jeopardize their mission. Nebron's story about Lash being a human-alien hybrid definitely got some media attention, and the case became discussed in the UFO and conspiracy theory realm. Lash's background and the sources of his wealth are also still bit murky. Finally, we have the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. In September of 1961, Betty and Barney Hill, an American couple, claimed to have been abducted by extraterrestrial beings in rural New Hampshire. According to their account, while driving late at night, they observed a bright light in the sky that seemed to follow their car. The light eventually descended, and Barney stopped the car to get a closer look. He reported seeing humanoid figures inside a craft. Panicked, the Hills fled the scene, but later realized they had lost a significant amount of time. Over time and through hypnosis, the couple began to recall fragments of their experience. They described being taken aboard a UFO where they were subjected to medical examinations. The beings they encountered were described as short, with gray skin, large eyes, and slits for mouths, your classic grays. Regarding the theory of hybrid experiments, some ufologists have speculated that the Hills abduction might have involved reproductive experiments. This theory also suggests that the aliens might have conducted genetic hybridization experiments on the couple, resulting in the possible creation of human-alien hybrids. Anyway, this case became one of the first widely publicized alien abduction stories in the United States, and it's definitely one of the biggest and well-known ones.
If you enjoyed this video about people who might be from space, then you will for sure like this video next. It's about mysterious that could be solved with your help. Please jump on the video and help us in the comments below. Solve these mysteries. Click the video now. What are you waiting for?